What's going on? Episode 14 of Games to Discover. I'm one of your hosts, Chris. I am here with Mel. Mel, how the heck are you?
Pretty good this week, it went by kind of fast, so I just felt like we just did this like 2 days ago.
Yeah, we just did it, and now we're back and have like a million games we played. Um, you know what? Ones. Let me just first acknowledge uh the intro. We got a new music. Um, got reached out to and was like, "Hey, you guys could use you want to use an intro? I'll make you one." And so I was made one, got it made, and that was what you just heard, and that is "The Sun Is Mad." And um I'm gonna go ahead and link to their um
Sound glad?
yes, thank you, SoundCloud, and it'll be in the show description. And then if you are listening on YouTube, you can find it in the YouTube description. Uh, it'll be there. And yeah, it is. The Sun Is Mad. They did the intro. Rocks.
Yeah, nice to jazz it up a little bit.
Yeah,
Razzle dazzle.
yeah, a little razzle dazzle. Um,
Thank you
and
for that.
yeah, and I um went ahead and did that, and then I was like, okay, let me get this intro, and then um, I was like, I don't know how to let you hear it, and so you'll just hear hear it one day. Yeah, and yeah, it was pretty cool, but um. We're not here to just talk about intro music. We also talk about video games and probably the best thing we had all week.
Yeah.
Um,
'Cause,
we were talking
lately
before,
that's been a big challenge for me because I've been eating good.
yeah. So now you got to think of the best thing you ate all week long.
Yeah, and it gets like I don't know, like one day it's like this thing, and then like the next day it's like, always taking over. You know, just keeps building up, I guess. Good week to eat, I guess, for my.
Yeah. Um, I was trying to think of the best thing I ate this week, and I was just like, what did I eat this week that was different? And then I was like, you know what? I got these buffalo chicken bites, and I was like, I hope they're good because I got a whole big bag of them. Not good. They
That was the first time you tried them. So you got the that was that the only bag size they had of
they
those,
only
or
had the
like.
one size, and I was like, you know what? How bad could they be? Turns out pretty bad. Turns out,
I'm always so suspicious of stuff like that when they only come in one size. It doesn't
yeah,
matter the size amount; it can be small or big. It's just whenever it's one size, I'm like, I don't know about this. Because a lot of the drinks get like that too. Like I want to try like these specialty drinks. Like you talked about the Dr Pepper one, I think a week or two ago. I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. I want to try it. And it's like always like these big bottles, and I was like,
oh yeah.
I don't really want these big bottles of stuff.
I still haven't found it. You found it?
No, I haven't found it either.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, yeah. That's the thing. I want to try it, but I want to try it like if I can find a 20-ounce bottle at Wawa, because, like you said, they have like a whole can, like case of cans. But
Yeah,
anymore, those are like a $12 or something.
yeah, I
It's
don't want to
like
try it that badly.
it's like they're $12 unless you buy 50 of them, and then you get them for like $8 a piece. And I'm like, what? What do
Oh
you?
no.
Maybe not 50, maybe five, but still.
It's something crazy like that. It's like you buy two cases, you get one free or something, and then you end up spending like almost like 15, like $18, and you're sure you're gonna like all like 36 cans of this stuff.
Yeah, yeah, I know. And I was like, ugh. I liked there was like the berries and cream or something,
Yeah,
Dr.
that
Pepper.
sounded really good.
Yeah,
That sounded good.
so I tried that, and that was pretty good. But it kind of tasted like more just like a dessert, like almost like too sweet to finish the whole can almost. Um,
Yeah, that's when you kind of notice it a little bit. You don't like chug that down.
yeah, you
Like get
don't.
like a Willy Wonka like sugar rush type of thing.
Yeah, that's true. You don't. It's not gamer fuel. You know, it's not like Mountain Dew where you just.
It could be somebody's game. It's probably like in their bloodstream right now,
Yeah,
just completely taken over.
yeah. It's like Osmosis Jones.
I like that movie.
Yeah, yeah. So do I.
It's like a very gross scene like near the beginning that I hate. But like getting over that is just I don't know. It's a fun little movie.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I
And
forget the
there was
gross.
a cartoon series too for a little bit on
Yeah, that's
WB.
true. Like the movie was popular. See, here's the
Enough
thing.
to
I
watch.
always wonder if the movie was popular enough for it, or if they plan to just do both at the same time anyway. Like
They probably planned it both.
yeah,
I would guess. But like it did have like its dedicated fan base. I don't think it was like super mega popular, but I think when you mention it to certain people, they just kind of like brighten up. It's like, oh yeah, Moses Jones, love that movie.
right, yeah. Um, so that was terrible. That thing that I ate. And so they got these like Nashville tenders at KFC.
Okay,
All right, so
okay.
dripping. They're like supposed to be like dripping with the Nashville sauce. And I was like, I want to try these, but mm, what if, you know how they have like the copycat recipes online?
Yeah,
I was like, oh, that looks really easy to make. So I think I'm going to get some like boneless chicken tenderloins and like just make the chicken.
yeah. I mean, honestly, I'm a big KFC hater, so that has to be better in my head. You making it than just getting it from them.
A big KFC hater.
I'm a big KFC hater.
What about, how do
Proud,
you
like
feel
you said,
about
I hate it.
Popeyes?
I love Popeyes.
Okay, well, great. This is like Xbox versus PlayStation. You're you're on Twitter talking about I can't believe KFC's putting their signature their signature in on Popeyes. Um
Really bringing down the Popeyes
yeah.
quality.
What KFC's gone third party. It's despicable. Um yeah. But what was the best thing you ate this week?
Okay, so man, there's just so many choices for me because I just been eating good. I had like some really good homemade nachos like Tuesday, and that lasted till like Wednesday or like Thursday kind of thing, I guess. Well, maybe it was Monday. It was like Monday through Wednesday, and then like I said, I've been on this leftover kick. I'm not anti leftover, but lately I've been like super leftover. I think it just tastes better just having that extra day of just sitting and all the stuff. So I remember one day, like, I was having lunch and I was going to go for the nachos, but then, like, I got like sandwiches made instead. I was like, man, I really want these nachos, these leftover nachos. I had to wait like several hours just for dinner, and I was looking forward to it. And then, like, later during the week, we made like spaghetti, and I remember your dad's story with the meatballs, and I was like, man, spaghetti does sound like insanely good.
Uh,
And then we usually add like cayenne pepper, but like it was like a little extra, I guess. It felt extra to me. And man, I was just like soaping up that sauce more than usual because I'm not like a big red sauce person. Like the first day, it's fine, but usually if it sits like in the fridge, you have to eat it again. It can sometimes upset my stomach, but not this time. I was just all for it. And the way I make my spaghetti plate is I have one side that's just noodles, and then the other side is like the sauce and the meat. And I just dip it as I eat, you know?
wait, so you just like grab a little noodle and then you just
Yeah,
dip it
grab one
in
of
the
those.
sauce?
Yeah, that's it. I don't need like a separate bowl or anything, but that's how my preferred method to eat the spaghetti. Because that's why I don't really order it at restaurants. Because like just asking for that request, I know that's like an insane thing to do. They're gonna look at you like crazy. But like, no, we just want to dump it on top. And I was like, yeah, one on the side, please. And it's funny because like earlier in the week, my mom found this plate. It's like one of those divider plates, but it's like made of like this. very like intense like glass, and you can see like the three different sections, and it looks like a little fancy like porcelain like design. I was like, man, this is like my new Thanksgiving plate. Perfect. She was so excited to show me. I was so excited. I can't wait to like try it out. So
Yeah.
yeah, I guess it's the tie between leftover with nachos and spaghetti. And then I did have like right before we started, we actually got these little combo cookies because we have like this gift card thing. And this week there's like this strawberry shortcake pretzel thing. I've been on the pretzel kick lately too, so
Yeah,
that
that's
was
true.
delicious.
Big on the pretzel kick. That sounds good. But I'm
Yeah,
still
so I'm
reeling
sorry about
from
you. You know,
the noodles and
you
the
know.
sauce on the opposite sides of the plate.
I know, I know you're gonna get me on that, but that's how I eat it.
Wait, what kind of
I can
noodles
eat
do
it.
you have? Just like
It's
just
it's just like spaghetti noodles. But like, if it's like an Alfredo pasta, it's fine altogether. But this is just mainly a spaghetti thing.
what is it because you don't want to get those bites that don't have enough sauce?
Sometimes I just have bites of noodles. There's no sauce on it.
Mm. Growing up, I would eat buttered noodles with a little bit of butter
Oh,
and salt.
yeah, that was like not like a weekly dinner for me, but like semi-weekly dinner. We would just have like butter noodles, and man, I love that.
Yeah.
That could be like a snack for me now.
Oh yeah.
Honestly.
And then yeah, one of my exes was like, "Oh, you like butter noodles? Will make some butter noodles." Okay, let me tell you something. I was not prepared for the amount of butter this person put on the buttered noodles. And
Okay.
after she scooped the bowl, and she was like, "Just so you know, I put a lot of butter." And I was like, um, I went to go get, and it was like Alfredo sauce, but all butter. It was just, oops, all butter. It was like, um,
Oh no. I mean, I can't say too much because my family is most likely right up there with butter noodles made like that. Like
well,
if you don't have like at least one stick of butter, like is that really butter noodles to my family? That type of thing.
yeah, I think she used like two sticks of butter, and it was just for the two of us in one little pot,
Yeah,
and then had the
yeah,
two. It was
that's what I'm saying.
so much butter.
It's like a Paula Deen recipe right there, just
Yeah,
butter.
yeah. I was looking for the camera. It was a lot, but that was the last time we had her butter noodles together. Um,
You just out buttered, I guess, huh?
I got out buttered. Yeah. So what we would do is make the noodles, and then I would just put whatever amount I felt appropriate, good enough for myself, and then I would just put all the rest in the rest of the bowl, and she would, you know, eat it. Um, but yeah, that it. Mm, in terms of the best thing I ate this week, probably. I hate to say it because I'm getting sick of it. I've been sick of it. How long has it been? Meatball. It just these spicy meatballs. Uh,
I can take them over. I'll gladly eat these
yeah,
noodles.
you can take them over. Yeah. Um. So what happened was the meatballs were eaten, and then more meatballs were gotten. Right. And
Yeah.
then they didn't have the meatball. We went the one time they didn't have the meat. This was like 2 weeks ago. We went. They didn't have the meatballs, so um, we made our own meatballs.
Oh.
He's like, I'm just gonna get it's like a meatball slash meatloaf mix of, and then put it together and make your own meatballs. And I was like, okay, sounds good. And they were ginormous, and so we had. But the thing is, when we get meatballs, all we have. My dad is like, making it for him, so he's like, um, so while
That's
I'm the what?
I dropped for a second. Sorry
Oh
about
yeah,
that.
that's all right. Um, but yeah, so he will um just want the meatballs with sauce, and he always likes the same sauce, which is just tomato and basil. We tried marinara one time, and he said It's okay, but only acceptable if we can't find tomato and basil.
Oh, okay. So
Um,
he's a one sauce type of guy, huh?
yeah, I'm like he's like that's why he said this is why I like Hershey Kisses because they've been unchanged since who knows how long. He
Yeah, yeah, that's
uh
a common complaint, but not a complaint to him, I guess.
yeah, and yeah, I'm like oh thank you Dad you and it's like oh now I see where I got my ADHD from. But anyway the meatballs these were like spicy meatballs and so that at least made it changed it up a little bit. Um, and yeah, I guess that was it. We didn't have the stromboli within the last week. Instead, we got um, cheesesteak, a slice of cheesesteak pizza,
Okay. I could
which
be
is
down with
was
that.
still
I like the cheesecake.
it was
Yeah,
still
cheesecake.
pretty good, but yeah, um, yeah, I enjoyed it. Yeah, that was probably it. There, you know what? Okay, so we're out here eating, but we're also out
Yeah.
here gaming. And there were two games I wanted to talk about before we get into like mostly what we've been playing. And one
Okay.
of them is Blood Typers. And Blood Typers, let me tell you. Um, I was like, oh, this will be fun. I thought it was like it's kind of like a multiplayer third roguelike game where you're typing, and I thought it was like Resident Evil where you just run around, and then when you see an enemy, you have to type to kill it.
Oh, like type in the dead type of thing.
Yeah, I thought that's what it was, but like Resident Evil, I was wrong.
What
Um,
is it in?
it is like Resident Evil where you got like an open area and you're walking around, but
Uh-huh.
you're typing the whole time. You want to walk ahead, you type
Oh, no.
yeah, you type whatever. It's like a three-letter word, and then you just type it, and then it might be like low or something. So you'll type low, and then whoop, you just run to that spot, right? And then, but the word never changes. So if you are walking through the room, you know what the word is coming back. Um,
Okay.
you can see a word 4 words away. You type that, you just automatically run to that. But then if you run into an enemy, you got to like hit the tab on the keyboard, then type in whatever word is in front of them to kill them. Um, there are like, it seems like I got a special edition, special sword,
Hmm.
and they would have multiple letters that because the sword was more powerful, those letters were blanked out, and you only had to write two letters of the word to get
Oh,
it.
okay.
And yeah, so it's kind of like Resident Evil, but you're running around just finding. It's also kind of like Doom, sort of. You would just run around finding those.
I was thinking Doob in my head
Yeah, because you got to
because
get
I actually haven't seen it. Oh,
different keys. You have what?
okay. I actually haven't seen it in person, so I wasn't sure like the vibe, I guess. But I was thinking Doom, so
Yeah.
just in my head.
It's like top down sort of. Well, it's kind of top down, but the camera is kind of low. But the character models and stuff, it almost looks like Crow Country.
Oh, okay.
So
That was pretty good from last year.
yeah,
I like that one.
so it kind of looks like that, but it's a lot of typing. And here's the kicker: I was playing it on the Steam Deck,
Okay.
and if you're wondering, Chris, how on earth did you do that? Great question. I have no idea. Um, no, I did it by playing my. I got my keyboard from my computer and plugged it into the Steam Deck and then was playing it. But the problem is the font's really small. So I'm like leaning down to look at the font to see what the word is. And because the font's really small, because I couldn't have it docked and the keyboard
And hooked up.
connected
Yeah.
at the same time. Well, I could, but it was a pain. So then I was like, oh, that sucks. So then I was like, okay, what's gonna happen? and how am I going to do this? And I was like, all right, so I have that connected to that. But then I was also playing on Discord with someone else. So then I would lean back to talk, but then I couldn't see the screen again. So I had to like lean down, and then I was like typing. And
Oh my gosh, that itself just sounds like a game, you know? It
yeah,
also in my head I'm picturing the Mr. Incredible's gif where he's just at his
that was
that's
me.
what I'm picturing.
that, that was me playing Blood Typers. Um, um, and so I was like, okay. Um, I liked the demo, but I got to figure out a better placement for it. And then I even went into like, because in the community note, like a thing on Steam, you can go, there's like a message board. Sometimes the developers will answer questions. So I just asked if there's any like accessibility options planned in the future for like font sizes and different things like that. So
Yeah.
we'll see if they get back. I mean, because this is just the demo. So the demo has multiplayer. You can get in, play. I think you can play with, I think like 4 friends or 5 friends.
I mean,
Uh,
that's a pretty massive demo for like this kind of game, you know? You don't usually see stuff of that nature.
yeah, yeah, it's pretty cool. Uh, I I like it. It's called Blood Typers. As of right now, I believe it is. Yeah, only on Steam. I don't see it coming anywhere else because you kind of need the keyboard. At first, I was trying to be cheeky and type in because when you're playing on the Steam Deck, you can just press the Steam button and X, and it brings up a virtual keyboard over top of the thing. And it was like,
Yeah.
okay, in order to turn left or right, use left shift or right shift. And I was pushing the shift button, but it wouldn't register until I hit enter. So I'd have to hit shift, enter. And it was not working. So I was like, all right, I really got to plug this keyboard in. So that's what I did. And
Yeah. Because I was
uh,
thinking of that as well when you were talking about it. I was like, why can't you just pull up the virtual
yeah.
keyboard? But I guess it makes sense. Plus, I guess maybe for some people's hands, that might be in the way of seeing what kind of words they need to type,
Well,
type of
that
thing.
and it's not a transparent keyboard, so you bring up the keyboard, it covers the whole screen.
Oh, jeez.
Um,
That's even worse.
so you gotta like drop it down to see what the word is, bring it up, type it. And the whole time
And
while
in my case, I have to remember how to spell it.
right, yeah. And one thing I noticed is kind of sucks is when you're going to. So we were both attacking the same enemy at the same time and trying to type the same word at the same time, but the word it was. I was like, okay, um, because I had to like lean over and look at it, I was like typing in, I was like, let me get the second word because there's like 3 or 4 that each enemy has that you need to type in order to kill it. And so I was like, all right, let me start with the second word. And by the time I looked over and saw what it was, I had went to type it
Mm.
and they had already typed it. So then I was like, okay, they got it. So let me type the next word. But the last word was still half written on my line, so I had to delete all that to then type the other one. So I was like, okay, from now on, I think the best way to do it is you start. One of us starts at the top, the other one starts at the bottom, and then we just kind of meet in the middle, because it would be
Yeah.
easier that
To
way.
delegate. Yeah.
But yeah, blood typers.
I
Um,
mean, that's a very interesting concept. I
yeah,
think this is like an anti-me game though, because I'm a fast typer, but like I don't spell, and I'm assuming you have to spell these words right to actually do these actions.
yeah. A lot of them
Yeah,
are just 3 or 4 word, three or
it
four
doesn't
letter.
matter.
Yeah,
I would mess them up. Like if
I know.
you
I've
use my
been
phone for the
messaging with you for
autocorrect,
I've been messaging with you for years. I think I know. Yeah. If anyone knows, I just kind of assume what you're talking about. I'm like, that sounds like what you meant.
yeah,
Um,
that's close enough.
yeah. Um, but yeah, blood typers. And then, there was a game that we talked about last week that I played, and then not only did I play, but then I was able to get you a code, and then you played it, and
Yeah, I
that
played the hell out of it actually.
Techno Banter. boom, 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 boom. I mean, I talked about it
Mhm.
some last week, but then I
Yeah,
ended up playing more of it. But you played a lot of it. What did you think of Techno
yeah.
Banter, especially considering you get motion sick playing
Oh yeah,
first
cause
person
like
games?
this was a 1 day game for me because of that. Cause I did have like a massive headache after I was finished, but I did take like breaks in between of actually playing it, and it wasn't as bad as I usually get, but like it was still a little nerve wracking in that case. But like that's not really like the game's fault. That's just me issue type of thing. But like quick recap, you play as a bouncer for like this high class like guy, rich guy, and early on in the story he gets fired and he has to go back to his like slump of a job from his previous boss, and she's a bit of a character where she does a little more, I guess, in your face type of bossing, and she's maybe a little more shady in some aspects of areas of life, but so you're trying to climb back up because you got fired because you tried to pitch this idea. And I actually went with the opposite idea since you did the 1 in 100 shampoo. Did with
Yeah.
the I did like the baby implant thing.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah. I almost picked that one, and then I was like, well, let me see what the 100 shampoos is.
because I mean, if you didn't pick the 101 shampoo, I would have picked it. But I was thinking about it, and I was like, you know what? This honestly just sounds like a lot of men's body washes anyway. Because if you look, because if you look at your body washes, it's like it does like 4 in 1 things.
Yeah. Yep.
And like I look at mine, it's like it does like one thing, maybe. It might
Right.
accomplish that.
Yeah. Good luck. Yeah, it yeah, you get in the shower and you realize, "Oh, I didn't get the one that has a lid. I got to I got to go get the lid opener."
It's exactly like that. You're like, oh, this one twists, it doesn't twist back on. You know, maybe the
Yeah,
smell
one
only
time
lasts
use,
5 minutes.
but it makes the
You know,
bathroom smell wonderful.
yeah, it does. As long as the 3 minutes you're in there, with the scent.
Yeah. And then it's done.
But yeah. So you basically trying to climb your way back up, and there's like a bunch of little side quests you can do. I was actually surprised how many side quests they were. Like there's like this little mini fishing game you can do, and I love fishing games, so like the
Yeah.
mini games at least. So I collected all of the fish from that. It wasn't a lot, but like just the fact that that was there really threw me off, and I really liked it. But a lot of the side quest couches are actually couches you see like coming to the club or like work at the club or just like on the street of the club because there's like I don't know maybe like 6 different areas on the street we can actually go to. And I remember early on, like maybe within like the first like 20 minutes or so of the game, I actually got an ending. I mean, it wasn't a good ending, but it was an ending. And because like at the end of like the street, there's like this cross block thing, and you have to like you have to have like the pass to go through because that's like the rich area. They keep all the low light people out, and I didn't have that, and I picked a fight with the police, and my guy was not wearing any clothes because that was an option to do. So
Yeah, that's right.
because like because the coaches actually commented on that, and there was like one side quest where you actually have to just not wear any clothes and you get something. So I did like that aspect because I tried going to the club from my old boss without any clothes, and she's like, you can't like bounce people like this. Like go back home and change. And as you play, you do unlock like different costumes, and everybody's like side quest. Well, not everybody's. Some people's side quest stories. They're like multiple days, and you have to do like multiple different times. Like some stuff you can only do in the morning. Sometimes before you go to the club at night. Uh, you know, you do see some people from the very first party, like on the street as well, like the piano guy. Like he shows up later, like being a mascot for like the Fat Burger place. And I like the interaction with that because he remembers you. He's like, he broke my hands and I have to do this crap. Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. I did get to that part. And then because you were like, oh, I did all these side quests, and I was like, oh wow, because I didn't even think to do the I just like they were like, all right, go to work, and I just immediately went to work and started like doing it, and then um that was a lot of fun too because it's like, okay, you need to battle these people, and then it's like an RPG with words basically, and
Yeah,
it's like some people you need to treat them all differently based on their personality and like their character type. um whether they're like a creep or they're like a businessman or something like that, and then you got to like talk to them differently, and then there's one where you just got to out insult each other. um
yeah. And there's also this one guy. He doesn't even want to talk. He just wants to fight you. So like he's just throwing fists at you, and you have to like move your little the little circle head thing that you do.
oh yeah, yeah,
You have to dodge all the hits, and if he lands one on you, like it doesn't do any like I mean it doesn't like progress like the fight
or
anymore.
yeah,
Like you have to like actually dodge everything. And there's multiple little mini games like that. Like there's like an awesomeness that breathes like fire that you have to do dodges like that. And then there's like this really smelly guy. You have to dodge all the stingrays. I like that one as well.
yeah,
It's a very humorous game. And if you do like these side quest stuff, not only do you get like more like vibes of like the area in the world, you also get like level up points. And like the level up points were
yeah,
is when you're actually bouncing. So like you get points in like manipulating like emotional people or like arrogant people,
yeah, and
stuff
like
like that. And I had all mine maxed out. And it shows like a level up screen too while it happens. It's like this big screen that just pops up. It's like bam. I like that aspect as well.
One other thing I liked is the tutorials that they have in the game. You can like access them all in the bathroom in your apartment. Like you sit on the toilet while you're going through the tutorials, which
Yeah,
is very
that's
cool.
a nice little touch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the game overall is great. Techno Banter, it's on everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, how did it run on the Switch?
Uh, it was pretty good for the most part. I
That's good.
had like one little hiccup, and I just had to close and went back in. And it ran smoothly too. And for the different cues, for like the nights where you're actually bouncing, I did try different ways to see, like if anything like like a mag 2 changes because every night you bounce, there's like a star rating meter you have to meet. It's usually like, oh, you get like 6 points or whatever. And your boss tells you like a list of people who she doesn't want in. And sometimes I purposely let them in to see what would happen. Like I let this lady with her dog, and the boss was like, "Oh, I don't want anybody with pets in the building." And like as soon as I did that, my boss instantly came out and she was just yelling at me. And you see the star meter at the bottom just like drop points. And
Yeah.
there's like certain people where they can actually be okay to enter the bar, but like you have to talk to them in a certain way to do things. Because like there was like this one like alligator dude, like he was always like this happy-go-lucky guy, and then like one night he just like he has like an attitude and he shows up in blue jeans, and for some reason blue jeans was also like
Band.
he was they were banned. You can't wear blue jeans to this place, even though this place is not like a high-end place. It's like barely holding on type of thing. But anyway, uh, I was able to talk to him to where he got his mood back to his normal state, and then he was like, "Hey, how come I still can't come in?" And I was like, "Well, you got to lose the blue jeans." I just said it like as a funny thing, but he actually took the blue jeans off and entered, and you got like 2 extra points versus just let him in and you lose points. So I really like that aspect because I was trying to see if there was like multiple ways to get certain people to come in, and if there was like a different star rating value to that. Because after a certain point, if you level up your guy, when you're doing like the fights with the people with the insults, it's like a super obvious choice you have to make because it's usually like the most unique insult you have to use against a person. Because like one of them was like a cookie Girl Scout thing, That was one of the ones I had, and I was like, you know, you're too young, you can't enter the bar or whatever. And then she was like, I had friends in high places, and like the insult you have to choose is like, yeah, so they can reach stuff for you. So it really matches the character you go for. Because I don't want you to use the same insult over and over again. You're gonna lose cloud points because it's like a hype meter, and you need the hype meter high so you can use more of your skills. So you have to really know how to bounce. It's just not letting everybody in. So I like that aspect. And I
Yeah,
did get
I like
multiple
that too.
endings. So like my first ending, I picked a fight with the police, and they threw me in jail.
Yeah, and
That was
then
an ending. I had one where I earned enough money to leave town, and then like he's like in this like desert land becoming like a monk in a cult or something. Like he can't really talk. Then I got my final ending, which was I completed the complete main game, and they do like a little epilogue thing after. It's like this person did such and such this, you know, that type of thing. And for the most part, I felt like I got like a pretty good ending for most of those people. But like it does get really crazy, and the game itself is already kind of silly. So I was
yeah,
surprised how it went down, but I really enjoyed it. Really liked it.
yeah, and it's definitely one I want to keep going back and play some more. Um, but it was a lot of fun. Like you were saying about the just because normally I won't play games like this with the that's all talking, no voice acting,
Yeah.
but just how just the way people were talking and the um different mechanics that they had for like fighting verbally fighting with with the people and like there was like somebody that like I guess my boss owed money to, so they were like don't let this person in, and I was like okay, no problem. And but then they almost got in and I had to like fight them to like keep them out, like verbally fight them. And the guy finally agreed, okay, I'll come back later during the day. And yeah, that was fun. But yeah,
Yeah,
I was like, you know what?
it's a nice little fun. Yeah.
We're just gonna talk about two games real quick, and then we talked about them for a hot minute. But yeah, but
Well,
they were good games.
I mean, I do feel bad because we did touch on Techno Banter last week, but I didn't play it.
Yeah.
And I was able to play it, and then, man, that is a me type of game.
Well, yeah, because I played it, and then I was like, oh, I think Mel would like this game, and then I had the opportunity to get you a Switch code, and then I was like, do you think you'd play it? And you're like, yeah. And then I was like, okay, sounds good. Then you played it, and
It was worth the headache to me, like because the game itself wasn't a headache to actually play. It's just again, that's a me thing, you know. I
right,
get that
yeah,
from that.
motion
Yeah, that's why it was
sickness.
also like a 1 day thing too, you know. I didn't
Yeah,
want to like spread that out, but like there is, you know, a reason to play it again because, like I said, the epilogue at the end, the choices you make throughout the game actually kind of do matter. And I do feel like there's certain characters I had at the end that I could have get a better ending for them. So I'm gonna poke around and see. And I felt like I collected a lot of the collectibles, or not collectibles, but like the items you use. But I did have like this one key that unlocked something, and I couldn't find where it was supposed to unlock. So I want to poke around a little bit and see what happens with that.
yeah, and I didn't get the key, but I will definitely be on the lookout for it later. Because I do have it downloaded still, so I plan on diving back in. But yeah, um, it was hard to like play too much of it because I mean, hard to play too much of anything because I got so many games.
Yeah, you have such a stack. It's always a surprise to me to see what you do end up playing or going back to, because again, you have so much, and like most of these things are pretty decent at the very least.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't really gotten into a game that I haven't really enjoyed that much outside of maybe Leaf Blower Revolution. Um,
Okay. That is a choice. I never know what's gonna leave
It's an idle
your mouth in
game where you're
this.
just going around pushing leaves off a screen and then you just kind of slowly upgrade. But yeah, it's like a free one of those like free to play games. And then
Hmm.
eventually you can buy. It doesn't matter, but Leaf Blower Revolution, if you want to check it out, there is a my kind of category right now in the
Thing.
on Steam. Yes, Steam Idler Fest, and it's just all a bunch of idle games. Um, which, I mean, some of them not too bad, but then some games they put as idle games that I didn't think were, but I guess I wouldn't consider them idle games like while waiting.
Yeah,
Um,
because I was just about to mention you did play an idolish type of game.
yeah, it turns out that was one. Yeah. So I while waiting, you just are doing a lot of waiting. You're doing a lot of waiting in that one. But it's you play someone's a character's life from before he's born
Okay.
to his death. Um,
No, geez, I was gonna make a joke like, is he waiting in line at heaven at the end type of thing just to get in?
well, I'm not talking about the end, but just that's what the game is
That's what the game
described
is.
as. Yeah, it but discover the power of acceptance and patience in numerous situations from birth to death. So it just follows one character around. But yeah, while waiting, I mean, it's so I played the demo and I was
Okay.
like, oh, I really want this game. And I was like, I'm excited to check it out. I want to check out the game, the full game,
Hmm.
right? Because I liked it so much, I didn't really see anyone talking about it, and I like reached out to them. I was like, hey, do you have like a the trailer that I can get? And I was like, I'm gonna post this on TikTok, and then I posted the trailer on TikTok. Um, and I was like, I kind of want to. I'm really excited about this, mainly because it's like it looks like just a game. Like it'll be like just wait here for the rain to stop. So you can wait there for the rain to stop, or you can like walk around and do random little missions. It almost feels like um, if Untitled Goose Game was like a waiting for just a waiting idle game. It's is kind of how I feel about it. It
Is there
is
anything that actually happens, like if you press buttons to not wait anymore? I guess. Like, do you have to like start all over, or like?
no. Yeah, no matter what you do, it's gonna keep the time is gonna keep going. Like there's one
Okay.
where you're in bed, you're supposed to keep the lights out, um, but you can do stuff in the room. Like if you hit B, it'll bring up like a little notepad, and in that notepad, each segment of the game has like a bunch of little stickers that you can earn by doing different stuff in the game, and
Mhm.
it'll be like, okay, you're supposed to wait, but instead of waiting, what if you steal a hat from somebody that walk when they walk by? So you can move with the analog stick, control the main character, so you can control them moving around, um, and get out and move and do different things, and then it's your option to get it all done before before whatever it is. Like the last sticker is always like wait for the heavy traffic to clear, and you can wait, or you can get out of the car and help some ducks cross the street, and get to their
Oh,
mother.
so cute.
Yeah, or you can just roll down your window and um, just sit there and wait. It's up to you. Um, but yeah, while waiting, that one I played it. I enjoyed it, but I mean, you're just waiting a lot, and so, um,
Yeah, that's the concept. Because I know I used to have like really good patience, but I feel like over the past couple of years, I'm just losing that a little bit more and more. So I probably would be like, feeding the ducks or stealing the hat in this type of game,
yeah,
just to see what would happen. Because I'm also very curious person like, in general, I guess.
So it here's the thing too is it's not going to um it's not going to change the outcome. Like let's say you're outside like getting the ducks and you don't quite get them in time.
Mhm.
Um if the game will and the game will just go on to the next section. It'll be
Oh,
like,
okay.
oh, you know what? You made it back in your car, even though you didn't see it. You got back into your car and then just went on. You know, you are also like pouring hot water into like your cup of noodles, and you're waiting for them to just seep the noodles to seep in the noodles into the
Oh
water
man,
in like your instant ramen. And while
I,
you're waiting for that, you can do
hate that.
different things. You know.
I'm gonna actually play this, get to the noodle part, and like make actual noodles. So be waiting double the amount. I'm waiting in real life and in the game.
Yeah, so there you go. That now you're definitely doubly waiting. Um, Now the game, um, before the game came out, there was a demo, and now it looks like the demo's gone. So I don't know.
Yeah, I guess you just gotta buy the game. I guess it might be one of those like limited time demos because we always seen those pop up more often, especially in doing these little events. Steam
Oh
has
yeah.
crafted.
Yeah. Next at the end of the month, we got Steam Next Fest. That'll be fun. I'm already getting
I know.
emails from people being like, "Hey, our game's gonna be at Steam Next Fest. You want a code to play the demo now?" And I was like, "Oh, maybe."
Yeah, people have to jump on like stuff early. I've been seeing these indie tweets, especially. It's like, show me like 15 seconds of like your game, and like these things are getting like so many views. And I'm just mind-boggling to me. And some of them look pretty interesting. So
Yeah.
you know,
I look for like posts like that and then just kind of scroll down. I think it's why my Steam wish list is like 1,300 games.
that
Um,
sounds about right.
yeah. And okay, so that is a game I played while waiting. It is a 19.99. I think it's on sale right now for 17 or $18. It's like 10% off or something, and
Yeah,
it
like a
is
dollar, like
on
two.
Steam and Switch. It runs great on the Steam Deck. Um,
It's like that hand-drawn like art style too. So I like that as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
It's not
So I can't imagine it
not
wouldn't
too.
run well on the
Yeah,
Switch, you
it
know?
should be fine.
But yeah, check it out. I was gonna say there's a demo on Steam, but the demo seems to be gone, so don't don't try the demo. Um,
Well, those people who are still waiting for the demo, they waited a little too long, I guess.
yeah, maybe they'll bring it back again in the future. We'll see.
Yeah.
What about you? What is a game you've been playing?
Okay, so the other like major game I've been playing, because I have stuff I've been playing. It's just these things are so massive, and even the one I'm talking about next is massive too. But it takes a little bit of time for sometimes me to get my notes, quote unquote, I guess, ready. Because me and you, we don't really do notes. We just kind of talk.
Yeah, we have notes.
But
I was gonna say,
we have notes. The best thing we do is probably just write down the stuff we play. That's probably
yeah,
our notes. But
yeah. Sometimes it'll just be a random message from one of us being like, "I played this, this, and this. I don't want to forget to talk about it this week."
because sometimes we just forget stuff because we hop around playing so much stuff. Because typically, like before, I was very like focused and just playing like one thing, beating it, going to the next. Now I'm getting like more little variety stuff because honestly, there's just so many things I want to try, and I don't
Right?
want to sit on something too long without trying it. But this week, well, late last week, I guess, I was able to get the Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake. Man, that is such a name. And I actually played the original game, not like when it came out, but like I don't know, like maybe like 10 years ago, around that area, because it was like I got into like the mainline Dragon Quest games like on the 3DS because they were pushing like remakes and ports of them, and I played like eight and I went downward, so you know that type of thing. But they showed this off years ago, and there was like a year or two like where they didn't really talk about it at all. And when it came out last year, it was like late December last year. It did pretty decently for what it is, because it is still like an old school game. Like it still plays like one, but they included a bunch of like quality of life choices, and it's stuff like battle speed. There's more tutorials to explain some of the mechanics, because this one does have like a class change system, and like there's like a personality thing going on too, and like your
Oh, okay, yeah.
personality, um, it affects like your stats. Because like right when you start the game, they do like this little quiz thing to ask you questions, and sometimes I just kind of like blast through it, it's like whatever. But this time I answered honestly, and man, I am so mad at what my guy got. Because like you can pick the hero is the same, but like there's like two types. You can go like like the guy and like the girl, that type of thing. I just went with the guy because he looks, I don't know, slightly better. I like them both, so it was just kind of a coin toss thing. But yeah, I answered honestly, and the personality type I got was crybaby. So whenever you look at like my guy's stats, like in the menu screen, you just see personality crybaby.
Oh, that's not
Like
good.
my poor guy. Yeah, because like each personality has like an attribute. When you level up, you get extra points in that section of leveling up. But there's also certain accessories and items you can get. Like there's like these little seeds you can get, so you can put in points where you want them to go. So it's not too bad. So you can still kind of craft each one of your four party members, and because like the story is basically a very very traditional old school story. It's like there was an evil threat, the hero finally turned 16, so they have to ship him off, and he has to go complete this thread. He does a couple of things like collect these keys, get like a ship. Something else happens, and then you know you get a whole different half of a different game. But there is like new story parts, but the overall story does not change. So there might be like new dialogue between like certain people you talk to. It's like sometimes it's like flavor checks, sometimes it's like just like telling more people about the lore of the game, because like this game is like actually like first technically in timeline wise for the Dragon Quest games. And when they showed it off years ago, I thought it looked a lot better, like visually, but like it still looks pretty good. And I like the speed up animation for the battle fights.
Yeah.
And personally, they added a new class, and this is probably the main reason I wanted to play this, because it's a ranger, like a Rattler ranger, whatever. It lets you collect monsters and use them in battle, that type of stuff.
Oh,
So
okay. So it's almost like that. What's the name of that monster?
it's like the Dragon Quest monsters slash
Monsters. Yeah.
characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that. There's even like a whole little like stadium side mode where you actually use the monsters like in battle, and they fight. And I did like two or three like different cups of that, and I won those. So because like in the overworld, there's like these little hidden sections of the place you go into, and you can find the monsters and you recruit them. And there's like, I don't know, like 120 plus of those things. I got like 20-ish right now, because I'm still kind of early. But I have played this before, so I know how it's gonna turn out. And I really do like this new class of the monster stuff, because I'm a big fan of the monster designs. I like collecting stuff, and it's
Yeah.
just a really good class in general, because like you get a whole bunch of like wide range attacks early on, so it makes that early on experience a little bit easier, because like it's not like overly hard, but in the Dragon Quest games, like when you die, for a lot of them you have to go back to like the church and then like pay like a priest to like bring you back up from the coffin, because like whenever you die it's just like you have a bunch of little coffins following you behind. And again, it's still very old school, and I like the in the sense of you have the random battles you can't really see. I know some people may dislike that, and in the actual battle, zone, I guess it's all done in first person. I know that's gonna bother some people as well. Personally, I don't have a problem with that, but I do prefer to see all of the characters on the screen actually popped out. Because like in between like picking attacks, the camera does like zoom out a bit and you can see them, but like you don't actually see them attacking. So it could be a little bit of a downer for some people.
Oh, you don't see him attacking?
No, not really. No, it's just like it's all first person.
I wonder
See,
what
that's the
took
type of
him so
first person
long
I
with
can.
this.
I mean, they did add some stuff, but like I feel like this project kind of got like sidelined a bit for 12 because 12 was announced, I don't know, like 3 4 years ago at this point, and we haven't really seen anything of it. We heard some details of it, but like it always sounded like these really edgy details, and then like we have like like the death of like the art designer for the series, so that doesn't help. And then like we have the death of like one of the music guys, that didn't help as well. So
Yeah.
it's probably just been bunches of stuff. And like we have the 1 and 2 remakes of these uh series coming out this year too. I don't know if I'm gonna get those because I those were okay. I like 5 and up a lot. I thought 3 was a good starting point, but like if you wanted to start like now, you would go to 3. And I think this version would be a good place to go because it has like all these changes that I think they're pretty good for like a new person, especially with like maybe explain a little bit more of the abilities, class changes, and you do have like a new class or two. And yeah, I'm going to be playing this on and off a bit because it's still a Dragon Quest, like at least like 4 and up are pretty hefty games. Like the first 2 games are not that long, but I feel like this one with all the stuff they added could be like almost challenging. I don't know, like 30, 40 hours, of playtime, which is pretty good for like a little RPG, JRPG. So big Dragon Quest fan. So I probably will complete it. It's probably not like an immediate thing I have to do. But I am really glad I was able to play it and playing it because I do like the changes. And
And
yeah.
how about the is in terms of this, do you think you'll play 1 and 2, or will you have your fill with this one?
I think I'm gonna have my fill with this because I didn't really like 1 and 2 that much. I played, back when like the Switch first came out, there was like the ones they just ported over of like the first two, and I played like those versions. And they were okay, Those are like really old school, too as well. But I like the later ones, a little bit more. They get a little bit more interesting in the story stuff. You have these class change systems. I really like 8 and 5. And I know eventually I have to play 11. It's just when I play like one of these games, it just usually takes over everything else. That's why I bounced on and off 11 so much because I know every year I'm like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do Dragon Quest 11 because the game acts like in different parts. Like there's like Act 1, Act 2, and then like most of the time it's like, oh, there's a hidden Act 3 or like a separate act after Act 3. So it's just the classic fun JRPG games, because a lot of the ones we have now they do add like new stuff to like separate them, and it's fine. But sometimes I just want something a little more classic, I guess. Oh, also this game does do something like when you get like a new weapon, it actually changes in the sprite when you battle it. I mean, you can't see it while you actually battle, but like when you're about to pick the attacks, you can see it. So I like that change little thing.
Yeah.
It's a nice little touch.
It's one of those games where it's like on the fringe of being on my list of games that I want to get, but it's like I'm waiting for I might get it like if it drops down to like $20. I don't mind how long I have to wait for it because it's an older game, you know.
Yeah, because
Just
it's like I said, it still plays like an older game. They do add stuff to where, it's more like, modernized, where you can like, enjoy it a little bit more. But like, don't expect like drastic changes, especially to like the overall story. The story's gonna happen exactly how it happened before, So if it's like too old school, maybe not the right person for it. But if you're looking for just something like a little throwback, with some slight changes to where it improves like your battling and just like movement and actually playing. This may be for you, but it's also a Square Enix game, so they don't hold on to their prices too long. So you could get a decent sale probably,
yeah,
because
that's
there's
true.
a couple of places I already saw it for 40, which is not too bad. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the next Dragon Quest, in 5 to 6 years, whenever we see it. Who knows?
Yeah, I hope I like it because some of the comments they have been making about it, or at least did in the past, it sounded kind of like they're trying to be like edgy because like Dragon Quest is one of those series where it does well in certain areas of the world, but like in other areas it's just kind of well it's just Dragon Quest, that type of thing. And I don't know, I really like the designs of the stuff. I like how serious it can be, but it's not like overbearing with it. It's not trying to make you feel like you're a terrible person or something like that. It's believable, I guess, to me, even with
Right.
all these little designs. And I do wish it was a little more popular, but I think there's just a certain threshold, especially like in the U.S., that it can reach, and that's it. I don't think it can go above that, but it's okay. Not everything can be.
Yeah.
It's like,
And then it's like, I've also been like hankering for a RP, like a turn-based RPG. So I almost got Metaphor, and then I was like, am I gonna get Metaphor? Am I not gonna get it? And then I had it in my cart.
oh
It
yeah,
the sale ended at like 1 p.m. Eastern, and I had it in my cart at like
oh no,
12:57, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna
no,
get it. And
playing with fire.
I was like, I'm not gonna get it. And then I left in the cart, left alone. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get it. And it was like 108, and it went back up to $70. And I was like, I'm not gonna get it. I'm not gonna get it. And then it's like, oh gosh,
I do that with myself sometimes too. Like I see something I kind of want, it's at the price I kind of want it at, and I just sit on it, and it's like, oh, darn, I can't get it now, you
yeah,
know. And then I'm okay with it for like a day or two, and then like I'm thinking back, I was like, man, I should have got. I hate myself, but it is how it is sometimes.
yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. Um, but but the game, you know what? I did kind of play an RPG of sorts.
Yeah,
A
it's
game
bad.
that I say an RPG of sorts, not quite. It's a game that blends, um, you know, what's the name of that game where you would like, Oregon Trail? It's like Oregon Trail mixed with the item management of Resident Evil,
Ooh,
and
okay.
the game is called Keep Driving. Okay, and it's out now on Steam. It is a 2D game, roguelike game where you venture off in your car, and you can pick like like a sports car, a truck, or just a sedan or something. Um, just a regular 4-door little coupe. But
Okay.
so you pick your route and you're driving. You need to pay attention to multiple factors: your energy, your gas, your hunger, and your car. You can't like get your car damaged. So let's say you're like, okay, I want to go this route, and it like shows you a map, and it's how like roguelikes will be like, okay, pick this one or this one depending on what you want to go to. So you can set them up and go to different locations, right?
Mhm.
And so you set them up, You go there, and then you're like, all right, this is good. This is really good. And on your way, it'll be like, gosh, there's a speed trap. So in order to counteract the speed trap, there will be different attacks or things that are coming at you that will attack you, and it'll attack different portions of you. It'll attack either your energy, your tiredness, or your like gas. So you can like run out of more gas if you get attacked by these things, and
Oh, jeez.
it and you need to keep an eye out on them. And so what happens is on your windshield you have like what are those things called like air
The
fresheners.
wipers. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm. And so you have them, uh, and they have different attributes. And so one might like, okay, this will knock off a gas and a um, energy. And so you go ahead and you do both of that and then you get rid of those. And then they have like little red markers on over top of them if they're about to take away whatever it says it is. If not, then you have like two turns to do it. And so you need to like take those out. And then there's one that's like a free space basically, but every time you use it, it uses one of your energy. And then if you use your energy, you need to take a nap, and then if it's like raining or cold out, then you might be cold the next day, and then it'll take you a little bit to warm back up and stuff like that, right? And so then
Yeah.
you're on your venturing on your way. You might find like a car on the side of the road that you can pick stuff up from, and then like you'll get to like a gas station, and usually accompanied by the gas station is like just a store that you can go and shop in. There might be like a car place that you can um, go ahead and grab some stuff and inventory for your car to like work out that way. And so you can like upgrade your car as you're driving along. um, you also find like stuff like you might find a walking path and there's like a tent and stuff that you can get, and you will um, upgrade and level up your ability. And so then as you gain experience points and do stuff, you can upgrade stuff and do different things on there. And so then you can unlock and grab new air fresheners to put up. Then they have different, they're able to do different things. And then you might be also run into a hitchhiker, right? You pick up a hitchhiker. This is all 2D pixel art graphics, right? And then the bottom of it, the interface looks kind of like a car dashboard almost. Um, and yeah, the car it keeps driving because the car will keep driving. It just keeps going, and then it'll stop at these spots, and then it just keeps going. It does feel a lot like Oregon Trail, where you just kind of like, okay, I'm moving from point A to point B, and in the meantime, you might run into some stuff, and if you do that, then you gotta find a way to get around it.
Can you just get a completely new car, or is it always just the car you picked from the start that you're upgrading it and doing all these
Um,
attachments to? I guess.
I didn't notice any new cars, but then there are different things that you can do to have, I think, start with a different car. It's like depending on like how much progress you make. I haven't made it through to the end, but they kind of make it seem like there's um your character's story based on who they're meeting along the way, because you can pick up hitchhikers, and then they have levels too, and they will, as they level up, they get both abilities, and they might also have side effects too to having them. So
Hmm.
it's like for every boost that they give you a negative thing where they might be like, I'm too cold, you need to do this, or they get hungry a lot faster, and so then they'll be like, can we stop and get this food, and or can you give me some of your food, and um,
Oh no, those are definitely not my kind of passengers.
right. Well,
I don't want
then
them to be snacking on my food.
yeah, you get to the gas station and you can be like, okay, thank you very much, but no, thank you. You're kicked out, and kick them out. Um, But
Well,
yeah,
at least well, at least like you would strand them at a gas station, just
yeah.
instead of like middle of the
I
nowhere,
think if
you
they're
know.
really messing with you, you can just kick them out anywhere. I don't know what happens if you. I'd never tried to kick someone out on the side of the road, so I haven't
Oh,
tried that. But
that's like the
um,
first thing we should.
I know, yeah, right. But I have been playing it. It's a great Steam Deck game. Um, but yeah, it is a lot of fun. Plus, then, like I said, the Resident Evil style inventory. So the top-down view, it shows like your trunk, and then you have a few spaces um, in between the front seat and the back seat, and this is all just based on the four-door car that I took because I think each different car has different space, so they might be able to
So
drive.
it's like that same puzzle mechanic where you have to like arrange stuff to where it takes up as less space as possible. It's gonna
Right, just
pop more.
get as
Yeah.
much stuff as you can in the car, yeah. And then you might find stuff along the side of the road you can pick up, even if it has no use to you, you can sell it, you know.
Okay,
And
that's pretty good, especially with the
yeah,
gas gone. You know.
right, yeah, and it's pretty good. You can get like duct tape if your car starts getting messed up. Next to the gas station, you might find something that like a car shop, and then you can go there and just pay to get all your repairs needed that the car needs, and get
Hmm.
that repaired. If your car breaks down, you might have to call a tow truck. Yeah, it's pretty.
Oof.
You might find another car on the side of the road and then tow your car or tow it to your car and drive it to there, but then it like puts more wear and tear and gas on your car.
Yeah, because you're just pulling so much at that point. So
Yeah.
that makes sense. That's a
But
lot of smart real life implications for that. I like stuff like that.
right, yeah. I mean, but it is enjoying playing it. But yeah, it's called Keep Driving, and that is out now on Steam. Um, and that's one of the things I've been playing. I think I only have um, well, one other game.
Okay.
And you had another one too, or did you not have another?
No, I'm gonna push it to next week because
Okay,
I want to do a little more experimenting, I guess.
yeah.
So,
So I will talk about Rift of the NecroDancer.
oh yeah, here we go.
This is one I played it and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna stream it. And then after I streamed it, I played it some more. Um,
That's like one of the worst possible games to pick to stream because you have to focus so much on this one.
yeah, you know what, that's right. And then so what happened was I picked it out and it kind of plays you know, like Guitar Hero kind of, but it's like three notes, but then you have all these enemies coming at you, so it's still also kind of like Crypt of the Necro Dancer, where you got the enemies coming at you, and as they're coming at you, they might become they you need to hit them differently, and it really messes with my brain because it's like you hit one and then it gets pushed back because you have to hit it twice before you kill it, and then it causes you have to hit two of the buttons at the same time. And then okay, so then you do that, and then it's like another one might be coming, and it's like a zombie coming at an angle. So then you got to figure out which angle where the angle is going to take it to be played as for a note. And yeah, it's left, up, right, and then there's you push down if you want all three at the same time. And yeah, it is a lot of fun. It's like what would you say, hand drawn animation, kind of?
Yeah, it's like hand drawn animation, and like the enemies themselves are like from like the previous game in the
Yeah,
series.
from the crypt. Yeah,
It's just like yeah, it's all the same types of enemies, and there is a story mode to this. I know you didn't show it on stream, but like
I did. Yeah, I did not show it on stream, but then I played it and I was like, I want to play some more of this after when I was done streaming earlier today. I was playing some more, and I was like, let me check this out. And then I was like, man, this is cool because they have the story mode, and then the story mode has mini games and boss fights. I haven't gotten to a boss fight because it's like number 14 on the list, and I just
yeah,
haven't gotten that far. But they do have story mode has mini games, and the mini games are pretty much exactly um, whatever it's called.
Rhythm Heaven.
Yeah, Rhythm Heaven.
Yeah, and like
Um,
the boss fights themselves, I heard them talk about kind of like a punch out mechanic type of like thing. Because this game actually for Steam, it does the what do you call it? The user content kind of thing where you
oh
just
yeah,
kind of like
you can. It's
upload a
yeah,
song.
Steam Workshop. Yeah,
Steam Workshop, yeah. Because they talked about it like while making the game, and they're like, hey, there's only like five of these boss fights because it took so much just to craft and make them. So whenever new content's gonna be happening, it's gonna be more of like the Guitar Hero section of the game. And there's like what 4 to 5 different difficulties. And we tried them all on stream, so that was
Y-
fun to see too.
yeah. I think it has like easy, medium, hard, and then impossible. I think is
And
what they have.
like each song has like a different little skull meter of difficulty. So like each impossible is not like times like 46 skulls. Some of them can be like times like 22, you know. And you have all these different node attributes for these enemies, and they can happen all at once too. You know, it's like the slime guys. You know, you just kind of hit them and they die or they push back. But then you have like the bats where they can change lanes, or like the skeletons where their movement is offbeat. So if you're paying attention to their movement while trying to hit the buttons, it's gonna throw you off. And then like there's like this like ninja kind of like enemy where they just speed up faster and like they skip. So like you know you don't see them in, like in a flash type of thing. And they can do like what like 2 or 3 times some of them. And it does have like the hype meter to where if you fill it up, um, if you press it, you're like invincible and you're like extra points during that time. So
Oh yeah,
you have to figure out when to obtain that and like when to use it to get some of these high scores because it shows like all the high scores if you're really that interested in that kind of content.
but yeah, it is. I'm really enjoying it. I'm gonna play more of it, and I'll probably even talk about more of it next week, just because
Yeah,
I want to do more of that story mode and see how the boss fights are and stuff.
because I was watching you play it and like it surprised me how much different types of like movement and like beat styles they came up with. And like I said, like you can have like a slime and a bat and like a zombie going on like in different lanes at once. So you have to really pay attention and like just get into the groove of it. I know when I'm absolutely able to get my hands on it, I'm gonna try it and I'm gonna play the hell out of it.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Because like the
be
short little stream you did really sold me on it. I was already sold. So
right. I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up coming to like switch to, you know. It
yeah,
seems
because
like
it seems
that'll
like
be
one
there.
of those things.
Right.
Because I
Exactly.
do like these rhythm-based games. It's just I do prefer them on a handheld thing because it's just gonna eat up so much of my time, and I don't want to take up like the TV screen or like a computer screen. And you know, I don't want to be like Mr. Incredible over here, hunched over like 4 hours trying to play the notes. So
Right. Yeah.
yeah, hopefully it does come out because I know they did say it was supposed to be like a same date type of thing, but then they pushed it back, and it's like, yeah, later this year the Switch will get their version. So you know, probably when that happens, I'll jump in.
Right. Yeah. That'll be here. I mean, it'll be here before you know it.
Yeah,
But yeah, that is Rift of the NecroDancer. Are you That's another thing I've been playing. But yeah, I think that'll be good enough for this week. We've played quite a bit.
yeah, all types of different stuff. How it usually goes with us.
Yeah. And where can people find
I'm still at the Twitter, so there, I guess. I did post a couple Dragon Quest stuff, so
you? Oh, I did
maybe
see
you see
that.
more of
Yeah.
that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. That was cool. But yeah. All right. Well, you can find me Super Nintendo on pretty much everything. And The Sun is Mad. Don't forget to check that out. And yeah, that's the end of episode 14. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you later. Toodaloo.
See ya.